to the sun-bathed islands of the Adley Bay. At the middle of these warm waters sits the capital, Veli, the largest among all other cities in the bay and a true sight to behold. Rich in natural resources, bountiful fishing and favorable soil, the Adley Bay has boomed into a bustling paradise with boats coming and going with product in tow. Seaplanes and flying boats, an aeronautical invention only a few decades old and growing in popularity. Those brave enough to pilot a plane tend to do so for an occupational or economical advantage, while others, for crooked reasons. Brew pirates, backwater bootleggers. They taint these lands in choking smog, plunder ingredients and steal from the peaceful locals to forcefully sustain their brewing monopoly. The pirates operate in secrecy from the surrounding landmass of the Marieth and Delholdin nations. Their presence expands, forcing their brews as they rove freely and unchallenged. That was until two unlikely heroes stepped forward. Nigel, a flunky from the Marieth Flight Academy. Undeterred, Nigel refuses to give up on his dream of becoming a career pilot. With very little flight hours on his record, he's eager to find anyone that will fly with him. And Francie, the daughter of a successful merchant in the Marieth capital. When she learned of her father's shop being ransacked by the pirates for goods used in their brewing production, she vowed to help protect the bay and return what was stolen. In this time of turmoil, our unlikely heroes unite under one banner and one name. Henceforth, the Brew Barons came to be.
Alright, we're here. The city of Veli. The last remaining location in the bay that still shines bright.
Huh. Not a bad place to start a brewing enterprise. I hope the local...
Some may be wary, but I'm sure we can sway minds and gather support if we can produce quality brews people actually like.
Alright then. Let's do this. I just wish we had enough money left over from the renovations to buy a better seaplane.
How about that? She floats! As I knew it would. Now before you head off, just a reminder to keep your speed low when entering or exiting any harbors. Harbors often have plenty of boats and obstacles that can cause some real harm to you and your plane if you're not careful, so just keep your throttle low and you'll do fine.
I'm more concerned about the illuminated rust holes shining up through the floor.
Rust? Just think of it as weight reduction. Anyhow, remember what I said. Oh, and try not to fly too high. That engine has carburetor issues. Bye-bye now.
Oh boy. Well, let's see what this thing can do. I'll give you a quick
Great, let's start.
This is our fuel gauge. We have a full tank at the moment and shouldn't need to refuel for a while. Oh, and one role of the co-pilot is to give regular notifications on fuel levels. This meter represents the plane's cargo capacity. And currently, we aren't carrying anything. Highlighted here is our compass, attitude indicator, speed display, and altitude display. This is the engine throttle. Hold the throttle input to gradually raise or lower the plane speed. The throttle amount will remain fixed at that location when the red portion of the throttle bar represents sustained engine damage. Damage will limit engine performance. Below that is the plane health bar. From the looks of it, our plane currently sits around quarter health with reduced engine performance. Next to the throttle bar is the propeller pitch toggle. Simply put, you can invert your propeller angle and make the plane traverse either forwards or reverse. You would only want to use this if the plane gets snagged or stuck. And finally, steering the plane. On water, our direction is controlled by using the rudder. Taking off is controlled by the elevators, which are kind of broken right now, but I should note it can be helpful to pitch down while trolling on water for a little extra stability.
It's coming back to me now. I recall the ignition button has to be held for several seconds in order to fire...
That's right. Hold the ignition button to start up the plane. Apply some throttle and follow the ring.
people using a plane for a boat?
I don't think that plane's gonna make it wherever they're heading.
Look at that! Hadwin actually sold that old wreck to some gullible pilots.
What's going on? What's all that engine racket?
At the brewery. Welcome to our new base of operations.
We own all 3 floors? Huh, not bad.
Yup, it may look a little rundown right now, but it's just a matter of time before we turn this place into a grand establishment that's... The 2nd floor contains the actual brewery, while the 3rd floor sits mostly empty, waiting to be converted into a bar. And last, there's our plane hang. See this golden square? This indicates a dockable location. Always reduce your speed when maneuvering into a dockable location. Otherwise, you...
Got it. Now that we're here, let's get this...
Welcome to the hangar. Let's jump right into the basics. From here, you can craft new planes, load or modify. A plane will always need a pilot and co-pilot, which you can assign in the roster tab. You can also assign Before we go any further, let's get this plane fixed up. In order to modify the plane, you can do so by opening the Repair tab located on the plane information panel. Once opened, move the slider all the way to the right to repair all damage and accept the purchase. Now that the structural damage is repaired, we can construct some new wings. Start by opening the Modify tab.
I noticed the wing construction required not only money, but also crafting materials. I'm sure we'll find more materials while venturing, so...
Yep. In fact, I have a small delivery errand destined to a local bar on the other side of town. We're going to exchange a few bottles of old cider I have for a valuable piece of plane equipment. Let's start by moving all the bottles of cider from the brewery inventory into the plane inventory.
The cider is now loaded in the plane's cargo space. It looks like...
Right. Let's head out. You can undock from the exit menu shown here.
Oil, flaps, rudder. All meters look good.
You betcha. You can see we now have a delivery contract. Look, the bar is located within eye range, just on the opposing side of the city. Take note of the gold docking square and small pier. Pilots should always plan their dock entry route and exit. You'll want to avoid approaching the pier head-on. You will almost certainly crash if you're traveling too quickly. Instead, approach a pier from a perpendicular... To help you approach at the correct angle, I've placed a series of rings. When you're ready, just use a little throttle and rudder to steer to the direction you want to take off, then speed up. Once you reach around 50 knots, pull back lightly on the pitch control once you're in the air, you can use the rudder to make small turns, or the ale. Take note of the ring color as you approach them. Their color will suggest the ideal throttle percent for the smoothest commute. Yellow is 100% throttle. I'll remind you of appropriate throttle power mid-flight. Let's... 100% throttle now. Reduce your speed. Slowly enter the final ring. That didn't take long at all. See this animated symbol? This means we're in a dockable location. When the dock input is pressed, it will bring up the dock. You can press the dock button now. The docking menu comes with several options such as resting or managing your delivery contracts. For now, let's take the first option and enter the establishment to conduct the delivery.
The floor is sticky. A bit of a dive, ain't it? What self-respecting person would drink in such a place? I'm sure the bar we build will be way better.
Shh! Keep your voice down. The bar owner is coming this way.
Hey, a couple of new faces. Take a seat wherever you wish.
Hi. We're not here to drink. I overheard that your establishment was low on stock and you're willing to exchange for—
I see you caught my ad in the paper. Is that cider? Great. You have a deal. But be careful with that plane equipment. Hydro aviation can be—
Wait, what? We're toying with hydro propulsion? You've got to be kidding me.
Oh, it's not just hydro propulsion. Hydro projectiles, too. But relax.
I can see you two have some grand plans on the horizon. One more adjustment here. And done. You're now set up to boost through the sky with a torrent of high-pressure water. Oh, geez. I lost track of time and got to get back to my bar. One last thing. If you're going to craft more brews, I might be willing to buy—
Well, that's fortunate. We have our first brew client. Hopefully next time we can deliver him—
Sounds good. There's ingredients scattered above the compass is the plane's ability bar. It displays the currently equipped ability and water meter.
Let's start by testing out the water boosting ability. It's great for hopping island to island at rapid speeds or gaining high—
To use the ability, we must first refill the water tank. This will happen automatically when we are close to the water and traveling at around 40 knots or more. Once we have enough water, we can use the ability by pressing the primary ability input. Let's start by following the rings and getting into position. Once we're in position, I will give you the signal. Okay, boost now. Hold down the boost ability and don't let go. Nigel, are you okay? You look a bit queasy.
Whoa, that was intense. I'm just a bit dizzy. I think flying at those speeds takes some getting used to.
Check it out. We have a view of the whole island from up here. There's small clusters of apple. Shoot the apple trees with your water projectiles to knock their fruit off and swoop in to collect them. If a tree runs out of apples, move on to another. A depleted tree will grow back. You can switch to the water gun by cycling the primary ability. Head back down to a lower altitude when you're ready and—
Sounds like a plan. Let's not forget to refill the water tank when necessary and stay within range of the island. Now let's collect one—
Sounds like our engine is struggling up here. That salesman definitely sold us a lemon. Let's fly down to a lower altitude before it dies completely.
100 apples loaded in the plane.
Next we can head back to the brewery to process the apples. I'll place a marker to remind us where the hangar is located.
Back home in one piece and a cargo hull full of apples. Let's head up to the second floor brewery. You can access it from the exit menu.
You managed to fit a fully functional brewery on a single floor?
Impressive, right? The first thing we need to do is move the apples from the plain inventory into the brewery. You can open the inventory tab to make the transfer.